Hello and welcome to Flosstube number 5. So my name is Marissa, this is Candid Cross Stitch, and this is my YouTube channel about all things cross stitch. And today I will be updating on my 5 current WIPs, and I also have 3 new starts. I don't know what came over me over the last 2 weeks, but there was something in the air that was just a voice in my head that just start your projects, and I listened to that voice. We are going to dive right in. I will start doing my updates first, and then I will do, I'll showcase my new WIPs and how far I got into each one of them. I don't have any haul, like I didn't really pick up anything new. I did pick up a couple of floss that I needed for my new starts. Although I do like going to the store and buying floss. I feel like it's just so fun trying to like find the right color and then just seeing how many there are. So first up is Twilight. This is my first full coverage large cross stitch project that I ever did. So this is where I was, and then this is what it's going to look like. And this is where we are at. So I did fill in kind of like this section here, and when it's just so many different, like I'll zoom in a bit. It's gonna be like background light, so it's basically like these lamps and how it looks so good, the background, and that's what this section is gonna be. But most, like this whole section down the middle is going to be those like background lights, so it's a lot of switching floss, so it's just taking me so much longer to make progress. So it doesn't feel like I'm making progress because I'm not making my way down, but I'm filling in and I'm switching my like colors around a lot, so it takes longer. But I still love it. Like, it's still so much fun to pick up. I'm so excited to just keep working on it. Today is Wednesday, August 19th. I'm gonna try to get this up maybe by tomorrow morning, but we'll see how fast I can edit. But I still have the goal of trying to get this to 50% by the end of the month. So that gives me 11 days. Right now I am at 10,208 stitches. So I only did 200 stitches in the last 2 weeks. So if I want to get to that 50% mark, I'm gonna have to pick this up a lot more. Total is 26,600. It is on a 16 count white aida. And I'm at 38.4%, so for me to get to 50%, I have quite a bit to stitch, but that's okay. And yeah, that is Twilight. Love that one. So next up is going to be Blood Moon. I got the pattern from Unconventional X Stitch. The artwork is by Christopher. I say Lavelle. It could be Lovell. I should probably look into how to pronounce that, but that is the artist. This is where I was at. I will put on the screen kind of where I was at last time, and then what the picture is going to look like. And this is where I'm at. So this is a big, I mean, I guess I could try to just take this out. So I did not cut this cloth, so it is going to be like quite a bit shorter, so it's not going to make it all the way down here. It's probably going to make it to like maybe here, but I just did not have it in me to cut this when I started doing it. But this is where I'm at. So it's going to be a total of 254,400 stitches. I'm only at a little itty bitty bit, 187 stitches. And then it's on 25 count even weave in like an off-white. I think it's a crew, I think is what they're calling it. And then next up is my largest piece, so even bigger than Blood Moon. It is called Succubus. It's also from Unconventional Cross Stitch by the same artist, Christopher Lavelle or Lovell. I should just look that up. Let me look that up quickly. Lovell. Oh, like rhyming with shovel or gavel. Lovell. We're gonna go with that. Christopher Lovell. Succubus. This is what it is going to look like. This is where I was at last Flosstube, and this is where we are at now. I just love seeing it fill in. I am working in like 100 squares, or in like 100 stitch square at a time, and so I do tend to kind of just go over slightly if I need to, but it's a slow process. Like with how small the stitches are, and I am doing 2 over 1 full cross, so it is tight. Like it does take a bit to get the needle through sometimes, although I did buy a smaller needle, and it does help to kind of get through some of the spots where it is just like covered in stitches. This is 25 count even weave, same color as Blood Moon. It is going to be 362,600 stitches. I've only done about 520 stitches. I want to, obviously, like, I'm really slow at it, and so I mean, maybe I should make something kind of like a priority piece that I just like focus on a lot more to see if I get more progress done than just jumping from each project. I did do a like 100 stitch 100 stitches in every single one of my projects. That's when I only had 5 projects. Now I have 8 because I started 3 new ones because I just wanted to jumpstart each of my projects. And so I guess that's kind of where I'm okay with working on each one and just getting a little bit of progress on each one. But then at the same time, my brain's like, you need to stitch more on something because you want to see more progress. We'll have to balance that. So I'll see where I get with this. But yeah, it looks great. Okay, and actually this one I am so proud of. Now, I didn't get complete, but I've made so much progress on Hummingbird. So this is what it's going to look like. This is what it looked like last Flosstube. And I took it out of the hoop because it looks so much better this way. This is what it looks like. Oh, I feel like I'm so close to getting the circle done, which I am. I'm well over halfway, ish. I guess I would say about halfway done the border. But if you notice, I did make a decision on doing four threads instead of 2. So I know I mentioned I don't have to bring it up again, but I kind of read my pattern wrong and I did 2 thread when I was supposed to do 4. So I did choose to go back. I will go back. What I'm doing is I'm doing the 4 thread all the way around, and then when I hit this side, I will just overlap 2 more threads on that side. But I just feel like I made so much more progress on this than I thought I was going to, because each floss tube previously I make like maybe 3 or 4 row progress, and it was just like eating away at me, being like, no, I want it to be a circle. But when I did go to the thread store, I did pick up the last, I think I only needed about 10 more threads for the middle. So I did pick up all of those. So I have all of the threads for this project, which is really exciting because I feel like sometimes I don't want to get into the color or start the progress, like, or start further in without all the thread, even though I have enough of the threads to get started. I don't know, my brain's weird sometimes. So total, this project is going to be 46,440 stitches. It is currently around 1,100 stitches. This is on 18 count Aida in an ivory. Yeah, it's gonna be 2/1 full cross. The border is just half crosses, but I do love the 4 threads over the 2 threads because it just looks, it just doesn't cover as much. So I thoroughly enjoy that I made the decision to do 4 threads. More work, I have to go back, overlap the ones I already did, but I think it'll be better in the long run. I also think that this one is going to be for my grandma. I think this is going to be a gift for my grandmother. She is, she loves gardening. She has her garden. She loves hummingbirds. She always has like hummingbird feeders, and we always talk about hummingbirds. We even mentioned that one day we might get matching hummingbird tattoos. We haven't done that yet. Next. So this one is called Stacked Teacups. So this is where I was at last time. And this is what it's going to look like. I got this off of an Etsy shop. Oh, Hummingbird I also got off an Etsy shop. Same with this one, I got off an Etsy shop. I think it was like buy 3 get the 4th free, and I bought like 4 patterns. So I got them all from the same place. But this is where we are at today. I feel like something like this comes together so quickly. There will be back stitching kind of over a lot of this. I have yet to backstitch. I haven't done it yet because I'm at the very beginning of a lot of these projects. And I think a lot of people either choose to backstitch like as they go, and then other people backstitch at the very end. I don't know what I'll do. I think this project, being that it is quite small, it's only 11,000 stitches. I think I'm gonna complete it and then do my backstitch because I've never backstitched before. I feel like I need to like just have backstitch time and not try to do both things. So we will cross that bridge when I get there. But like I said, this is 11,340 stitches. I'm at about 1,000 stitches ish. Oh wait, was this gonna be the one that so yeah, instead of counting actually individual stitches, I am counting like boxes of 100 because the background isn't full hundreds. I'm not keeping track of individual stitches. So I'm at, 25 boxes of 100 are complete. But since there's back stitches, it's not actually 100, so I can't say 2,500 stitches out of 134, which would make me around, I think, that doesn't make sense, 18%? Yeah, I think it's roughly 18% because, I mean, this section is like a quarter. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm about at 18%. So those are my 5 current WIPs. Now we're gonna get into my new starts because like I said, the Etsy shop, when I bought, it was like buy 3, get a 4th free. These patterns have literally been sitting just on my iPad and since like May, June, I think May. And something came over me. I literally started 2 in the same day and I was like, why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? Because I personally start in the top left. And so I kind of went into each pattern and I was like, do I have enough thread to get started? And on all of them, I had more than enough. Like I had most of the thread for these projects. And so I was like, why am I waiting? Like, what am I waiting for? My first start, this one I'm calling Bloom, which will make sense in a second. I got this off an Etsy shop. It is going to be 27,221 stitches. I am at 501 stitches already because I love, like working on this one was so much fun. I don't know what it was, but every time I just put my little hoop on and just started stitching, I think it might be the colors, but I will show you my progress. So this is where I'm at as of right now. Oh, that is just a fluff from sitting on my couch. And so like there are kind of like this off-white color, a crew I think it is actually as well, at the top. So you're probably thinking it's kind of a weird start because I did start in the top left. But then if you look at the picture, I'll put it up, that fence is really close to the edge. It's like 1 stitch off the edge of kind of your project. And I had just like one big massive piece of 16 count white Aida left. And I basically like measured it out to try to get all 3 of these projects out of this piece of Aida. But I don't know what I did because all of them are so close. I swear in my calculations, I was giving myself like 2 to 3 inches aside. I'm bad at math, okay? I somehow gave myself maybe an inch on each side of the projects that you are going to see, and maybe even less. Because yeah. And it's only this way, like the top and bottom, I have plenty of space on each of them. I did start it higher because I was like panicking that I wasn't going to have enough space on here, but this is where Bloom is at. I love it so much. Like this one's just so much fun to like pull out. And I haven't done a house yet. And I know some people are like, I love doing houses. Like it's so fun. And I understand it because like you just get to do like blocks almost. And then you get to just, I don't know, it feels clean and crisp. There's something about it that I'm thoroughly enjoying. Next, so if you guys don't know the lore of how I got into cross stitch, I saw a TikTok of a woman who was talking about hobbies and she was like, you can cross stitch your favorite movie scenes. That is how I got Twilight. That is how I did it. And then a few months or a couple months ago, I think this was June maybe, I just got it in me being like, well, you can't just do Twilight. You're gonna have to do all the movies. And so I did make patterns for each movie: New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1, Breaking Dawn Part 2. But then something in my brain was like, you have to do them chronologically. You have to finish Twilight and then you have to do New Moon, then you can do the rest. But like I said, something came, I don't know what it was, something came over me being like, you're gonna cross stitch everything that you have right now, like just start every project. And so I did start New Moon. So this is the image I went with. It's not like the best pattern ever, because I don't really like Bella's face in it. I'm gonna play around with the pattern when I get to that section. So this will be we'll see how it works out. But this is what it's going to look like. And this is the very minuscule start that I have. This one is going to be 12,000 This one will be 12,750 stitches. I have about 119 stitches in. Once again, like I said, I think I have like a finger's length on each side. And that's kind of why I was starting going this way, because I was panicking. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough, even though I measured like twice. And then when I was doing my calculations, it was like, it's gonna be 8, the whole pattern is gonna be 8 inches, so do 12 inches. So that's 2 inches on each side. That did not happen. So that's okay. I think there will be enough on here. It's gonna be a smaller piece, which I love. I love being able to have a mixture of really large pieces, but then smaller pieces that can make more progress. So 16 count white Aida. And since that you can tell that there's no hoop on this, that's because I did stitch this in hand. I just stitched this one and it was kind of fun. I didn't mind it. I think that it was just easier. And then this Aida cloth I did get from Michaels. I think it's like their brand, like Loop and Threads brand, and it starts very stiff, which I don't mind when you're starting out. But when you really work a project, so this is the same, this is the same Aida cloth, but I've obviously been working this for a few months. It gets really soft and easy to use, but I felt like with the really stiff stuff, I could easily stitch in hand. Eventually, I will move to my small hoop to kind of like focus a bit better, but yeah, so that is New Moon. And then lastly, so this is the 4th pattern that I got on the Etsy shop. So this one is going to be called Moon Fairy. I don't know if these are actually pattern names or if I just named them these. I honestly can't remember at this point. But I started this on August 15th. It is going to be 38,400 stitches. I've done about 200 stitches in this one, and that puts me at like 0.5%. I did this, and it's going to be on 16 count white Aida because that's what I bought a large pack when I first originally started stitching. It's going to be 10 inches across and 15 inches down. So this is like my first kind of like vertical piece, I guess you could say. Everything is also, well, I have a circle, I have rectangles, I have, oh no, this is definitely not both my large pieces, my succubus and my blood moon are vertical pieces. They're just so big that I'm planning, those are going to take like 10 years, okay? I'm genuinely giving myself a decade on those because it's going to take me that long, if not longer. So that's okay. And I think that's the beauty of cross stitch, because I feel like we're in a world where it's like instant gratification is a must. We must like have something like in the moment they think of it, you can get it at your door the next day, which is wild. And I think that's the beauty of finding this hobby and doing this craft every single, like I literally stitch every single night for, even if it's like 10 stitches, I will stitch something. And I think that's just the beauty of it, because it's something extremely small in the moment that is going to build a beautiful picture over time. And I think I love the fact that I have pieces that are going to take me a couple months, and then some pieces that are going to take me like a decade, like I said. And I will start a handful of pieces in the middle of that, and we will see where we get. But yeah, okay, so this is Moon Fairy, and this is where I'm at. So once again, I got like maybe a finger's length on each side. I genuinely don't know what I was doing with my measuring tape, but it wasn't calculating math correctly. That's for sure. Yeah, it's 160 stitches wide, 240 stitches down. So I think I didn't, yeah, it's actually pretty close. I think there's gonna be like maybe an inch or two in the bottom, which is fine. I would rather have plenty of length going down than not enough. So yeah, that is where I'm at on my 3 new starts. I will say that with this one, it was starting to get very difficult to see kind of where some of the blues, there's 3 blues in here. So the dark blue, you can totally tell, but in here, there's 2 different shades of blue. And I think it's like, it's 826 and 825, but side by side, I was literally staring at them being like, I don't know. But they're so close together that if I was off by 1, I wasn't gonna make or break it. But, so those are my 3 new starts. Oh, isn't it just so great? Okay, so now I'm gonna go into goals. So I haven't really been setting definitive goals for each project. I've kind of just gone with like, I've just been going with the flow. But now that I have about 8 projects on the go, I do still wanna see progress. So I am going to set goals for most of these. I think for my 3 new starts, I'm just gonna go with the flow with those and just kind of, when I wanna pick them up, I'll pick them up. But for my other projects, I do wanna see progress. So Twilight by the end of the month, so my next floss tube will be September 2nd. For me, what I do is I film on Wednesdays and then I post on Friday. So I will be filming on the 2nd. And so in this 2 weeks for Twilight, I would like to get to 50%. That is about 2,800 stitches, I think. So it's quite a bit. That's a big goal. So if that would have to be a focus piece for me to get that done in 2 weeks. But I think it's attainable. I think I could do it. For Hummingbird, the goal is going to be to complete that circle, man. That has been a goal for a long time, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to complete that circle by September 2nd. For Succubus, I think I'm going to push myself on this one as well. And I'm going to try to do, I think, 300 stitches. So that would be 3 more 100 boxes, like 100 square boxes. So that'll be a 300 stitches there. For stacked teacups, I want to finish the quadrant that I'm on. So it's truly just like 4 quadrants to complete it. So I'm gonna finish the quadrant I'm on and then get as far as I can on the 2nd quadrant. Maybe do like the background on the top 2 rows of just that blue thread would be the goal for that one. Blood Moon, this one, I think I'm also just gonna go with the flow for this one. Yeah. Or what I could do is like fill in the top corner, because when I did start this, I didn't have all the thread for it. I just picked the colors that I had in the corner, and I don't have every single one because the corner is quite confetti for some reason. Like it's just a bunch of colors like in that first spot. So maybe that would be kind of the goal to complete there. Okay, cool. I think that is my immediate goals for the next 2 weeks. And then the other thing is that, so I see a lot of people talking about fall and kind of winter stitching. So a lot of my stuff, I mean, Twilight and New Moon, burr months to a T. You can, like, I'm excited to just watch the Twilight series probably come September. So I will definitely do that. But then I also do have some like florals and vibrant projects, which I'm not really kind of like in the season I must be stitching the season, but there have been a few like Halloween pumpkin themed patterns that I've been looking at, but I'm like, I cannot. I think I have to like complete stacked teacups before I start something else. That's the one that I would be able to finish the quickest. So we'll see. We'll see. Never say never when it comes to starting projects. The thing is, I don't actually have any other patterns except for my Twilight pattern, so Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Breaking Dawn Part 2. But I know that I'm not going to start those because I'm doing Twilight and New Moon right now. I'm good. Like that urge to start those is not there at the moment. Could that change? Of course it could change. But I feel good right now. And then I just have not been looking for patterns. But I do swear sometimes that when I'm watching floss tubes and other people's floss tubes, I'll just go onto the websites and be like, should I do that? Should I? And then like I might add to cart, but then I'll like exit out before I purchase it because I'll be, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Like I'll make a wish list on like 5 different like cross stitch pattern accounts. And then one day I will just hit purchase. But I usually have like the ability to stop myself in the moment. But then eventually, the more I stop myself, one day I will just press purchase. And actually, speaking of, I did the other day look at 6 portals. Yeah, I have been looking at that. I mean, I saw it on Flosstube a handful of times. I think quite a few people are stitching it. The main person is the Stitch List currently doing that, and it's a massive piece. Okay, it's like almost isn't it like 1,000,000 stitches? I think it's like 900 and some thousand. Like I wouldn't even I probably don't even have the space for that size of cloth. See, and then I thought about it. So it recommends obviously doing 18 or higher. There's no way I would do 18 count on something that size. It would have to be 25. And then I even looked into 32, and I would do 1/1 full cross if I did 32 count. So I have thought about it. So that could potentially be one that I get and start at some point. And then also November is my birthday, okay? Month. So that could be maybe a birthday gift for myself that I buy in August. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. So that could be a potential one. There's just something about massive projects that just like get me excited. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But anyways, now that I've pulled all my projects out, I'm going to actually go stitch. So I hope you have the great rest of your day. I hope you have a stitch-filled weekend, and I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed it, please hit like. If you hit subscribe, that would be amazing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.